Hey, it's Clay, and this will be a video chart on ticker symbol INPX. We will take a look at the 30-minute time frame. Real quick, what do I mean by 30-minute in case maybe you're new to charts? Instead of each one of these candlesticks here representing 1 day's worth of price action, which is what you would normally see, each one represents 30 minutes. So while this here may look like a few weeks worth of time, it's actually just the past 2 days broken down into 30-minute time slices. I like to this time frame that does a good job of telling the quote-unquote story of the price, and then makes mapping out levels of support and resistance a bit easier to see. Did this analysis yesterday, so that's where the red and green line annotations are coming from. And before anything else, I'm just going to do a little house cleaning here, get rid of these lines. Sure, they still pertain to the chart. They're just not relevant right now, and from a presentation standpoint, I don't want to risk causing confusion because there's clutter with lines everywhere you look. So let's try to keep this as clean as possible. Now, the first update that needs to be made comes about from a foundational rule in charting, which states when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. So going into next week with any sort of bounce, the key initial hurdle that the bulls will have to fight through is up there at 17 cents. So keep an eye on that going forward. But in my opinion, breaking levels of resistance, not really a huge priority. The huge priority right now is this chart is walking on thin ice. And this is not like some sort of great discovery on my part. Anybody that has even just a basic understanding of charts, knows what I'm talking about. And they know that because, well, they are taking notice that the 200 period, which on my chart is denoted by the pink line here, but the 200 period, which is a very famous moving average, and it's one of those situations where when the price is above it, you want to see the price stay above it, assuming, you're bullish. And so far, to be fair to the bulls, so far so good. The price has come down here, and you can see all day long, basically, was hovering right around that level. But the reason I call it thin ice is because if the price were to break below there, or worse yet, separate to the downside, at that point in time, that would literally be putting the price right back inside of that range where it was before, the big breakout here happened. And not to insult your intelligence, but price movements that go back to where everything started, that's not a sign of true strength. Price movements with true power are going to make progress forward, right? They're not going to go back to where they were. And quote unquote back to where it was is anything below essentially 14 cents, that 200 period simple moving average. And, at that point, that would essentially be a pump and dump. I mean, there's no other way to say it. I mean, when you stop and think about that, the price was here, and then it skyrocketed all the way up there, and then within a couple days later, the price is back to where it started. I mean, that by definition is what a pump and up is from a price action perspective. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but I'm just trying to illustrate that's why that 200 period moving average, the 14 cent level, is very important going into next week. So let's see if the price can stay above it or not. One of the biggest questions that I get is, hey Clay, how do you find the stocks that you trade? So what I've done is put together a free resource guide where I talk about the tools that I use to locate stocks that I find interesting and think may have potential. So if that sounds like something that could add value to you as a trader, then click on the image that is up on the screen right now and I will email you the guide. The guide itself is very short and to the point, and best part, it's completely free. Thanks for watching the video. Let me know if you have any questions.